Another day, another dollar as I holler to the world. I love the way I'm living, love the Gucci, love the girls, love the parties and the clubs, love the models and hot tubs, love the German engineering set on deep dish dubs. Another tour around the world, entertaining the fans. I love walking through the airport, taking pictures, shaking hands. Every day for me's an oyster, crack it open, find a pearl. I love the way I live is what I holler to the world.
Welcome back to Marking Out with a very sick MVP.
Yeah, I'm still, yeah. So just so you guys know, we usually knock out multiple episodes back to back. We do a nice wardrobe change for you to, keep a little consistency. But yeah, I'm still sick.
So welcome to Marking Out with MVP and Dwayne Swayze
But
today,
the
man.
hibiki helps.
Yes, yes.
It really does. I notice normally, like, we will knock out over the course, and here's a little secret I'll let you guys in on. Over the course of a taping, we'll knock out 3, sometimes 4 episodes. And if you notice, the bottle will start off full. As we get into it, the bottle gets lower and lower, but the episodes get better and better.
Right now.
As we lubricate the lips and let the truth flow out.
The hibiki cold and flu today, man, but it's doing the job.
Hibiki cold and flu.
So, Pete, to start today, we've got a question from one of our Patreon subscribers.
Before we answer any questions, I'm going to say this. If you are watching this right now and you enjoy the content, I am asking you to take a moment. To subscribe. We are doing great with our views. You guys are watching the content, but you're not subscribing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need you to subscribe. I'm going to need you to like. I'm going to need you to, the little bell things, the notifications, so you know. Yeah. I mean, every Monday, the new episode drops. That is without failure due to this man and his logistical genius. He makes sure that every Monday you have an episode. Between him and Ryan, you can't go wrong. And we got Rich behind the scenes doing the other managing. I'm just the talent. I just show up, talk shit, and I go. They're the guys that do all the hard work. So kudos to them. But please, seriously, subscribe, like, comment, and share if you like this show.
That's your job.
Yeah, we're doing our job. Now we need you to do your job, please. So at this point, pour yourself whatever you like to drink, whether it's single malt scotch, tequila, Kool-Aid, whatever you like. Pour yourself a glass.
Tang.
Pull up a Tang. Well, you went deep on the Tang, huh? Tang. Sunny Delight.
Oh.
Jungle Juice.
Oh, man.
Quarter water.
Leave your drinks in the comments.
Yeah, what's your drink of choice? What were you drinking when you watched this? Please let us know. And on that note.
All right. So brother Max MF from the UK.
Max, my man, my brother from another mother.
All right. So I might have to give you a second to think about this. I'm not sure how quick you're going to be able to answer. Who are Montel's top 5 all-time favorite music artists?
I hate this, man.
Go with Max.
Yeah, why would you do that to me? Because music is my life. Like, music is life. I couldn't exist without music. And my musical tastes are so eclectic.
Right.
Like, it really depends on my mood. I mean,
what if we break out groups 5 and then artists 5 to give you 10 picks?
Even then, it depends on what day, what I've been listening to lately. Like, I can tell you, certain things never change. Like, I will tell you on any day of the week that Bad Brains is one of my all-time favorite groups. Bad Brains changed the way I listen to music. I even got, I don't know if we can see it on there. I'm going to just slide the sleeve up a little bit.
You're gonna rip this $6,000 suit, man.
Yeah. This one's not quite that much, but on my forearm, can we see that? Ryan, are we able to see that? Is that coming through right there, that PMA? Positive mental attitude with the lightning bolt. That's Bad Brains. We got that PMA, we got that attitude. We got that PMA. Shout out to Joseph I. HR. Bad Brains. Okay. Fishbone.
Fishbone.
Shout out to my brother. Fish.
Yeah.
Dirty Walt, Dog, King of the Freaks.
Professor Fish.
Not yet. He's a brown belt, though.
Oh, okay.
He's a brown belt.
Four.
Yeah. I can't wait to call him Professor Fish. That's
coming,
dope.
coming
Professor
soon.
Fish. Yeah, coming soon, right? Jamiroquai.
Oh, right on.
Dude, Jamiroquai is just, it's always going to be in the rotation. Rakim is my all-time favorite MC, the God MC. My 1 and 2, always Rakim and Ghostface, 1 and 2.
I got to talk to my camera real quick. So one sec, guys. He hasn't said Steely Dan yet.
No, because I was that's a whole, I was going to get there on his own. Because we know that I have a love affair, a relationship with Steely Dan. I've seen them 11 times. Yeah. Shout out to Donald and Walter. And yeah, at 51, I am reeling in the years. But oh man, and you know, and if you ask me again tomorrow, I'd always give you those groups. But man, there's just so many more that I like, man. I just love music, man. I love the Police. You know, not the police, but the band The Police. Let's make that very clear.
Yeah, before they leave it in the comments.
Yeah, I think we can stop right there.
Okay.
That's a pretty good.
All right, so to recap, I'm gonna run back through. Number 1, well, in no specific order.
No
specific order. You listed Bad Brains, Fishbone, Jamiroquai, Rakim / Ghostface.
Yeah. Well, Rakim is 1, Ghostface is 2, always.
Oh, but, okay. So
Rakim is number 1, Ghostface is number 2.
Okay.
That's always.
And 4, Steely Dan and the Police.
Yeah. That's pretty solid, man.
No Blue Six.
I mean, Salted Music, Miguel Miggs.
Oh, here we go.
Like, yeah,
we had 8 or 9.
Yeah, come on, man. But I think that's a solid rotation at any given time. Oh, hold up. I got to say, listen, you guys know my musical tastes are eclectic. So I want to give a shout out to my my good friends over at, Steely Dan, the whole yacht rock thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm friends with the guys at Beyond Yacht Rock. Yep. You know, Yacht or Nyat. J.D. Riznar, Hollywood Steve, Hunter Stair, and David B. Lyons. I love those guys to death. And they do a show where people send in songs and ask, is this yacht rock? Those are the guys that made up the term yacht rock. And a lot of the songs that people are telling you are yacht rock aren't really yacht rock. So having said that, somebody submitted a song, I think it was The Alkalite, Going Down at the Alkalite, from a group called Rapallo. They're from Montreal. They are my new favorite. Oh. I listen to that so much. And when I let you hear them, you're going to go like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm going to turn you on to Rapallo.
A new band?
They're new to me.
Okay.
I don't know that they've only got 1 album out that I know of, Merger. And they just sent me a DM. We were communicating that they're working on a new album. And they got a song called Play to Lose that is so dope. Daryl's on the news. It's going down at the Alkalite. Ooh, ooh. Say my name at the door tonight. Ooh. I'm telling you. I'm so high on Rapallo. Shout out to Rapallo. Yeah, music, man. Come on, man. We make music.
Of course,
you know
of course.
In another life, I was a musician. I have a bass that I don't play enough. But man, I can't. Jimi Hendrix. I'm a huge Hendrix fan as well. Okay, all right. Turn the page.
Right on. Max MF. I hope you are very happy with the insight you got from P.
Because you made me happy. Anytime we talk about music, I'll talk about music for hours, happily.
All right, so we're gonna let's transition now, get into the show. I want to discuss the physical toll of pro wrestling.
That wasn't part of the show?
Oh, well, the wrestling part.
Music. Okay.
That was all music. So let's discuss the physical toll of pro wrestling. What's the biggest thing fans don't realize regarding how much wrestling hurts, or the wear and tear on a wrestler's body, the bump card?
The proverbial bump card. Yeah. So the bump card is the mythological punch card of your body. And I was told when I was coming up, hey, you only got so many bumps on your bump card. Don't waste your bumps. And, being on an indie show in a VFW hall in front of 50 people, don't do that dive off the ladder through the flaming table. Save that. Or don't do it at all. And I remember being 27, 28 years old on a Saturday night at the VFW hall, flying over the top rope, crashing through the table, hitting the floor, bam, splat, and adrenaline's going, and you get back, you have the match, and Sunday, a little stiff, a little sore, Monday, I'm in the gym like nothing happened. That was my 20s. Then 30 hit. Then going over the top rope, crashing through that table, hitting the floor, and come Sunday morning, you're a little banged up. Oh, boy, you feel that. Come Monday morning, you still just, oh, man. Then by Tuesday, Wednesday, you're all right. Then 40 hit. Brother, we ain't going over that top rope, crashing through that table no more. That's a good idea for you to do with someone else. And now...
Thank you, Rocky.
Yeah, right. Shout out to The Rock for that one. So, yeah, the cumulative damage over time, because people are under the misconception that the ring is a trampoline. It's bouncy. It has a shock absorber, and that is for the ring not to break, not your body. The ring is made out of steel and wood with a piece of cushion on it about that thick, and then on top of that is a canvas that's tied down tight, and when you hear bodies hit, boom, boom, that's the sound of flesh crashing into wood and steel with a thin layer of cushion. As a matter of fact, famously amongst the boys, the old WWF rings were notoriously stiff. They talk in our business about good bumping rings, where, you boom, you take your bumps, boom, and, they're not so bad. They got a little give, and, but the old WWF rings, I hear were really stiff until Vince started working.
Oh.
He started bumping in the rings. And then I heard that they got a little bit better.
Right.
At least that's the rumor I heard from the OGs back in the day. But you don't realize when you're taking bumps every night. I saw a documentary a long time ago about pro wrestling, and there was a doctor that said that when you're, and I might be messing these facts up just a little bit, but it's generalized. A 6 foot tall, 200-pound wrestler being slammed at a height of 6 feet by another wrestler is the equivalent of getting hit by a car at 20 miles an hour, roughly. So you're in a series of small car accidents every night.
Oh, my goodness.
And if you think about the cumulative effects that's going to take on your body, and luckily, we don't work the same schedule that we used to. But if you look at the way somebody like Will Ospreay, what he puts his body through, or think about what Rey Mysterio has been doing, Jeff Hardy, it boggles the mind how Jeff Hardy's still walking, But then you look at somebody like, let's take Hogan Hulk, who he did a leg drop for decades. His back was fucked, man. Like I heard like electric stem stuff in his back. His back was fucked from that leg drop over and over, night after night. There are a lot of guys that have all kinds of issues that never had like a major surgery, but Undertaker, I think he had both of his hips replaced.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure both. I know one for sure. I think both. And I used to tease Undertaker about that gunslinger walk. I don't know if the camera can pick this up right, but this is how Taker would walk. He'd have that kind of sideways, kind of like a gunslinger. And Eddie Guerrero, first time I saw him backstage, he was in pain. He would walk so gingerly, but when the red light would come on, he'd go out there, you see him work, he looked amazing. When he came back through the curtain, he was beat up.
Oh, that's crazy,
man. Yeah. So the part that nobody talks about, though, we talk about, just smashing your body night after night. Then there's the aspect of the chair shots. Most people have banned chair shots to the head now because now we know about concussions and CTE and the brain damage that comes from that. But the travel, you don't until you travel almost daily for a living, you don't realize what that does to you, because you're going to the gym where you're working out, training your muscles and getting your cardio, and then you're going to the show and you're doing your 10, 15, 20-minute match. And then, as it used to be, you're getting in a car and driving for 2 or 3 hours, or you're getting on a plane where you're sitting for 2 or 3 hours and you're stiff, and then you get up and you gotta loosen up and get the joints loosened up and the muscles. And shout out to RVD. I remember I used to watch him. He had a strenuous stretching routine. Every day, he had these little mats that they kept. He would stretch for like 20, 30 minutes, if not more, a whole stretching routine before he would go out. I don't think RVD's ever been hurt. Had any serious injuries, I should say. We all get hurt, but serious injuries. And if you take the constant bumping and you mix that with the travel, being stiff in a car, in a plane, that's not good for the body, because the human body was not designed to be in a series of car accidents every night.
Yeah, 20 times a night.
Yeah, and then when you get older, you get smarter and you figure out how not to take all those bumps, but still have a great match and tell a story. And then there's the thing, I was just talking about Undertaker, how he would have that gunslinger walk. There's a thing in the business that we call the grizzled vet walk. And I don't care who you are, if you got enough time in the business, eventually you get the grizzled vet walk. And I'll never forget, I was in Los Angeles with a guy, we used to be really good friends, and we were together at the beginning. And I got out of the car, we were going somewhere to eat, and I get out of the car, and I closed the door, and I took my first few steps, and it's just that, almost like the evolution of man,
Oh.
And I'm walking, he goes, "Oh, you got it! You got the grizzled vet walk! You got the grizzled vet walk!"
How old were you at this time, man?
Oh, man, at that point I was late 30s, maybe.
Okay.
Late 30s, possibly. Was I 40 yet? I don't think I was 40 yet.
Okay.
I think it was like late 30s, maybe 40. By 40 for sure, I had the grizzled vet walk. So yeah, that cumulative damage is real, and professional wrestling takes a toll on your body, and there's just no denying it. So, when people come up and say, "Hey, thank you for what you put your body through for my entertainment," I always say, "Thank you for watching." When you come up and you express the joy and pleasure that I was able to give you. When I have guys come up, "Oh man, you were my childhood, man." I watched, in a weird, twisted way, it makes the bumps and bruises worthwhile, But that's the price you pay.
The millions of dollars, though.
Well, that.
Don't forget that.
But let's keep it real, though. Everybody don't make millions.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Yeah.
I have been very fortunate that I've had a career that's over 2 decades now, and that over the span of my career, I have made millions of dollars. But most don't. And you got lots of people been doing this for 20 years for the love of the game.
Right on.
You got guys been on the indies their entire career that never got a chance to make it to the big time. Or, maybe they got to do, a short stint here, or, got some time overseas and whatnot. And were able to make a living, but never got rich.
Right.
They were able to pay some bills for a while and live as a professional wrestler. But then there came a time when the bookings dried up, or just physically they couldn't do it anymore, and they got a job selling cars or insurance, or they had to transition to another profession because they didn't get rich, they didn't make that money. So it's for the love of the game ultimately. And
for the love, is it why you go to do it on the indies today? Because you don't have to.
No, well, I'm not gonna lie. It's a combination of the two because my booking fee's kind of high. If you pay me, I'll come. If you pay me, I'll come. If you book him, he will come. I don't do it for free. But like my home promotion of CCW, man, just give me whatever, man. Because those guys raised me up. There's a love affair there. But generally speaking, in the beginning, it cost me money to wrestle. I joke about it now, but at the time, there was a time on the Florida Indies when, I don't say this proudly, but I sold weed and steroids to support my wrestling habit. Guys would get in one line to get the pay from the booker, and then I'd have another line over here where guys were getting their weed. Right. Because I used to have that gas, baby.
This is a long time ago.
long time ago, baby, since Whoopi King Phillips.
Yeah. Statue of whatever.
The statute of limitations.
Yeah, it is out the door.
Different time, different place. Yeah. But for what I was getting paid for a match and what it cost me in gas to drive and, crashing 6 deep at a Motel 8, or sleeping in my car at the what do you call it, the rest stop and whatnot, it's a rough game trying to get there. But fortunately, I was one of the ones that was able to make a career out of it. And I'm very grateful that at this stage of the game, I'm still here. So, but yeah, I'm beat up, But I say this, Father Time is undefeated. And we all got to go at some point, but I'm going kicking and screaming. I'm not going easily, so I'm still in the gym. And my biggest issue is that I go in and out of shape. My pendulum swings. If I got like a jiu-jitsu match coming up, or if I got some big matches coming up, I'll clean up my diet. I'll train hard. I'll get in really good shape.
And that's a reality for 2025.
Yeah,
you've got some business coming.
I got some business coming up. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, I'm back on the competitive jiu-jitsu mats, and I haven't retired from pro wrestling yet. I haven't had my last match yet. And I still do some indies, and I'll still do some more in-ring wrestling at AEW before it's done. But yeah, I'm going kicking and screaming, man. I'm not gonna allow myself to get old. And they say use it or lose it.
Right on.
And I've seen it, man. You allow yourself to get old with inactivity. Once you become sedentary and you stop moving around, you stop working out, you stop taking care of yourself, then you will get old. And I've beat the shit out of my body for the last 20 years. But now more than ever, I try to be mindful of, making sure that I stretch. And, hey, let's face it, I love pizza and beer,
Yeah, who doesn't?
I smoke a lot of weed. But then I take those periods where I go, okay, we ain't smoking no weed. And we're cutting back on the happy juice.
Yeah.
And, no pizza, no beer.
That sounds like depression, man.
Yeah, but the elation that comes when I look in the mirror and I don't have this gut.
Right
got
on.
The abs are looking good, and you see the young ladies, they like the salt and pepper, and MVP, you're looking buff today. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, thank you. Take that. Hey, no.
Oh, my bad.
No. We don't do that, man.
Joe, if you're watching, my bad.
Yeah. No. We don't do that. Yeah, we don't fuck with old jizz nips on this show.
We jizz nips. Come on, man.
Hey, that's your man.
Yeah, no.
We took a drastic.
Yeah. I don't know where this is going.
Yes, the wear and tear on the body is real, and if you have had a significant career in this business, you are at some point going to sustain an injury, whether it's a serious one that needs surgery or a lighter one that just needs an ice pack and an ace wrap. Take care of yourself. Make sure you take the time to stretch, and I'll tell this to wrap this up. At WCW, Diamond Dallas Page, he used to ice after every match. He'd have ice packs, and I wasn't there to see this, but this is common knowledge. He'd have ice packs on his shoulders, his elbows, his knees, And a lot of the guys would mock him and make fun of him for being smart. Imagine that. And all these years later, he's a yogi.
Yep, DDP yoga.
DDP yoga. He's in phenomenal shape. His flexibility, and he looks great. He doesn't walk with the grizzled vet walk. And a lot of the guys that used to mock him are in pretty bad shape nowadays, and he's helping some of them.
He's restoring so many quality to life for so many people. Man.
Shout out to DDP. But if you are a young wrestler, be mindful of your bump card, take care of your body, stretch before your matches, take the time to cool down, stretch and ice after your matches. And I'm not saying don't go drink and party and have a good time. Absolutely do that. Enjoy it. You know, there's no jewel promised to you at the end of the journey. The journey is the jewel.
See, I was going to say, take that.
Take that out.
How do you build the perfect hot tag, beats, timing, and crowd cues that make it pop without, you know, a tag feeling rushed?
Without it feeling, without it feeling rushed. See, that depends. Like, if you have time, if you're on an independent show and the promoter says, you know, you got 15, 20 minutes, then it can't be rushed. But sometimes you're on live TV, and as we've discussed before, you know, you got 12 and now you're down to 8, you know. So sometimes you got to rush. But in a perfect tag match, the formula doesn't change. You can modify it case by case, but the general formula for a tag match is the baby faces shine, the heels cut off the baby face, usually by cheating some kind of way. They get heat on one of the baby faces, and you build that tag by constantly trying to make the tag. And this is a mistake that I see a lot of young wrestlers make. They don't fully grasp the concept of a tag match. The whole time, one of my favorite things too is when, and man, there are so many great legendary tag teams, you know, like the Rock and Roll Express, the legendary Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, the Fantastics, the British Bulldogs. You know, you got so many, you know, the Hart Foundation, just so many great tag teams, babyface heel. But one of my favorite cutoffs would be when, you know, the baby faces come in and they get rocking and rolling on the heels. The heels are bumping and flying, and they're tagging in and out, and they're beating up the heels. And then at some point, you know, the baby face goes to shoot the heel off, and then he'll reverse the baby face. And as the baby face goes to hit the ropes, the other heel puts up a knee, and as he hits the rope, you know, knee in the back, and boom, clothesline. We're in the heat. Now that baby face is getting beat up. And the whole time he's fighting, trying to make the tag. And ideally, if you know what you're doing, free game, you cut the ring in half, Mason-Dixon line, and you keep that baby face on your side of the ring. You isolate. And every time he starts to fight back, oh, he's going for that tag, oh, you shut him down. One of the beautiful parts to help escalate the tag is when you do the blind tag, where the baby face is going for the tag, he's almost got it, and the heel jumps in. The one that's out of the ring, he jumps in. And the referee turns to that heel. Hey, you get back in there, and the baby face makes the tag.
Okay.
But the ref doesn't see it. And he tells the legal tag, hey, I didn't see the tag. You get back out. And the crowd's like, no, he made the tag. He made it. And the baby face is going crazy. I made the tag. And that baby face is getting his ass kicked. Oh, man, he's getting his ass kicked a little bit more now. And he's gaining sympathy. Because if he knows how to sell, he's selling. He's trying to fight, but they're just cheating and beating his ass. So you build the anticipation for the hot tag. You make them want it. And sometimes you get where those fingers are just, no. Sometimes as a heel in a tag match, I'd like to get a good head of steam on that baby face and taunt the partner where I hold his partner's hand. Look, tag. No. Screw you. And then when that exasperated baby face jumps in the ring, me and my partner beating his partner's ass while the ref's back is turned. You get out of here. You get out of here. Now here's another piece of game given to me straight from the Undertaker. When me and Mr. Kennedy were tagging up against the Brothers of Destruction every night, all across the world. It was an amazing time. Whenever Mr. Kennedy would antagonize Kane, which is a bad thing to do, to get the ref's attention, I'd, get like a bunch of rabbit punches on Undertaker. And Taker told me, hey, you don't need to do all that. When the ref is turned, you drop down off the apron, and I'm down in the corner selling. You look around, and you get one good shot. Bam! And you just turn away. That's way worse than all those little rabbit punches. Way more significance to it. He goes, I'm going to sell. I'm like, wow. And I realized immediately the difference in the reaction from the audience. So when finally that baby face starts somehow fighting back and does that big drop kick or whatever it is, that big double down where they do the double clothesline or whatever, and that baby face is crawling for the corner to make that tag, the anticipation has been built up all this time. And that tag is made, and man, brother, let me tell you, when you have been in a tag match against Kane and Undertaker, I left out a little. Sometimes they do what's called a small heat and then a big heat, where what we would do a lot of the time was we get a small heat on Undertaker, where he'd cut us off and then get Kane in. Kane would fuck us up, and then we'd take Kane down some kind of way. Okay. So now Taker, everybody wants Taker to get that hot tag. And man, when Taker knew that hot tag was coming, man, he had to pour that water in his fucking hair, and he'd be like a tiger.
Yeah, going down.
Bro, pacing back and forth like a Bengal tiger in a cage, waiting to come out. When that tag comes and Kane would finally tag Taker, the explosion that would come in that arena, because they knew Taker was about to whoop some ass. And back in the day, you had the bump and feed. Both heels would come in, and that baby face would tag you, and backdrop this one, backdrop that one, and clothesline. That's what it's all about. Building the anticipation. And that's the formula to do it. And then you get the 1, 2, 3, let's go home. The good guys win. And back then it was awesome because we'd either get the double choke slam or the double tombstone, and it was great. But the formula is a simple one. Babyface shine. Heels cut the baby faces off, cheating some kind of way. Build the tag. Babyface keeps trying to make the tag, You cut it off, so that when finally the babyface makes that heroic fight to make the tag, and that babyface has been on the apron reaching for that tag, begging for it, man, I'm gonna whoop these, let me in. And then it's the heel's job to feed that baby, pump and feed, give the people what they want, and justice is done. You got your ass kicked. Yay, the good guys win. Now, sometimes you get that little variation where there's a little dipsy doodle and the heels pull off a slick one and are able to pull a fast one or cheat some kind of way and steal the victory. And then it's, I'll get you next time, Gadget. But that's the formula, and that's the way it's done. And it's a formula that's worked for 100 years, and it still works today.
What's the art of the manager bump, and how rarely should it happen?
I will use a modern example. When I first came back to WWE, Sami Zayn was still wearing the military green garb.
Oh, yep, yep.
And I specifically remember Vince being adamant that nobody gets their hands on Sammy. Because if you do it right, you look at like Jim Cornette back in, great example, is a classic. The longer that little shitheel can get away with the fuck shit, you want to see him get it. And the longer he can go without getting his, the more the anticipation builds. You can't bump the manager all the time. It has to be a build-up. Everything should be a build-up. Everything should culminate in a payoff. And it should be over the course of a feud where finally that manager gets his. And the manager bump, because typically the manager isn't a 250-pound former champion.
Right.
Usually the manager is a smaller, weaselly kind of dude. Weasel, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Weasel, shout out. But Bobby the Brain Heenan was an awesome wrestler before he became a manager, which is why he bumped so well. If you go back and look at his stuff, when he got bumped, he took great bumps because he was a wrestler before he was a manager. But when you look at Sami Zayn, when he was on that run, nobody got their hands on him. And that was the whole, he always got away. So that when the time finally came and he got his, there's the payoff. Okay. Jim Cornette, through the years, he's all kinds of shit. Birthday cake in the face, and had to put on a dress, and but it always built up. He would hit somebody with a racket. He would cause a distraction. He would talk all that trash, and like Mama Cornette always says, he was like the consummate fucking weaselly heel. Somebody beat his ass. You want to see him get it, but the Midnights would never let you get to him. But eventually, the time came when Bill Watts got to him, or the Rock and Roll Express got to him, But you can't throw it away. You have to build it up over time, and it has to be a good payoff. And the key to that is the build up. Don't throw it away. In my case, it's a little different because I'm not a weaselly heel. I'm not that little pipsqueak manager. So it's a little different. But it's weird though, right? Because sometimes you have a whole generation of people that don't know MVP the wrestler.
And that's crazy to me.
They only know MVP the manager. Right. And they see me with the cane and they think like I'm crippled and I need the cane or something, which is another point with the cane. Like Jim Cornette would use that racket. He would clock people with that racket. And that was part of his thing. I used the cane, but sparingly.
Right, and that's what I want to ask you. How do you get a prop over as a character signature without it becoming a crutch?
Well, that's interesting because Jim Cornette would use the racket all the time. But that was like his defense because he was a little guy. Right. He was a little pipsqueak manager, a little Weasley. So that was his defense. Right. And, he would crack somebody in the head to help the Midnights, or he would use that. He would legitimately use that back in the day to fight his way out of some arenas. Back when you legitimately had fans trying to stab you and punch you, or they would put Drano in water guns and try to squirt you in the eyes.
No.
Yeah. Ask some of them OGs about the territory days.
That's crazy.
Yeah, when fans would slash your tires. And it was brutal, man. There, you hear Jim Cornette, if he's got a great podcast. He's a divisive figure. Some people love him, some people hate him, but you can't deny his knowledge, his experience. And he tells great stories about how it used to be back in the day. And back when wrestling was still presented as real, people really hated those cheating ass wrestlers. And they hated that little Weasley ass mama's boy. So they would get fucked up sometimes for real. So he tells a story about having the tennis racket and putting like a little chain, like gluing a chain around the edge of it and then putting the cover on it. So if he had to crack somebody with it, it had some oomph to it.
Oh man.
Yeah. But it would never became a crutch.
Okay.
It became an accessory.
Okay.
And in my case, the cane, I haven't even really used it that much. You know, I'll use it sometimes giving somebody, you know, a little jab to the stomach, just being a dick. I think I hit Speedball Bailey with it one time across the back, which if I didn't like him, I would have broke the cane over his back. But, you know, leave it to the internet. So yeah, if you do it right, it becomes an accessory and not a crutch because you don't use it all the time. You don't lean on it. I guess that's the best way I can explain that. Did that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Was that clear?
Yeah.
Was that clear? You guys got that? I hope I did you some service on that.
And if it wasn't clear or if it is clear, however you take it, leave a comment. Let us know you're watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that, man.
Yeah, ask questions in the comments, and we'll get back to you on that. You know, we'll and I want to tell you, when you see responses, it's not a bot. It's Dwayne.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. I'm not a chat bot, man. I'm a human being.
He actually takes the time to respond to your comments. And my manager, Rich, who's some floating around here sometimes you'll see him pop up and, you know, he'll like things and he'll comment as well. So, yeah, leave your comments, leave your questions, and we actually respond. We do that. Well, he does it mostly because he's the workhorse. He's the logistical genius, the man, the engine that makes this whole vehicle go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, kind sir.
I tell no lies. That's why I get myself into trouble because I'm a little too honest at times. Yeah, I think that sums that up. We got anything else?
Nope.
We all done?
I think we're done.
Okay. That was all three?
Yeah, that's all three.
Oh, magnificent then. Well,
yep.
Oh, would you look at that? Well, I guess we can't properly end an episode without a proper toast, right? Give you a nice healthy pour.
Hey, you know what? Before we wrap, let's try something new.
Okay, what you got for me?
Lightning round.
Oh, lightning round. All right.
Lightning round.
Right.
Okay. Did have something I jotted down. Okay. Top 5 most painful finishers VP has ever taken. Name the move, who hit it, and why it sucked.
Wow. Top 5 most painful finishers. Well, I'll give you the number 1. We'll start with number 1 and number 2. The not so great Khali. That chop to the head that he used to give, in our business, we have the term a work. There was no work to that big, thick acromegaly bone to the head. He would literally drop that big ass 20-pound soup bone on your head. There was no work to that at all. I'm pretty sure that I got at least one minor concussion for one of those. And then the other one, his other finish, the two-handed power bomb drop.
Oh, okay.
Brother. I'm like, yo, my man. When somebody teaches a motherfucker how to work, brother, you would do. I say this all the time. I'm harsh on the great Khali because I'll tell you he's one of the worst people I've ever been in the ring with as a wrestler. But behind the scenes, what a funny guy. Like, I actually enjoyed his company. I used to mess with him all the time, rib him mercilessly. But because he was so trash in the ring. Now, I know there's a billion people in India right now that hate me, but that's okay. I don't care because I will tell you that the modern day Maharaja, that motherfucker's dope. He's raw. I was very happy to see him become the WWE champion, but the great Khali, trash. That, I give to you, I give, fuck out of here. That's 1 and 2.
Okay.
3. Man, you know, I was lucky to work with so many dope-ass dudes that were so talented that would make it look devastating, but not devastating at all. I will say, Fit Finley was known for having some of the most devastating offense. Like, his shit looked like it killed you. but he was so dope that he didn't. But with that shillelagh, every now and again, every now and again, he might catch you a little bit. And I remember one time he caught me with that shillelagh, and I remember like, oh shit, like it wasn't the regular. I didn't do the regular like, oh I'm hurt. It was like the god damn, oh shit, bump.
Yeah,
It's like damn fit. He's all stop crying. It was dope, but yeah, that's I remember like one time, but only one time. Right. So I don't think that really counts. Man, most of the finishers from guys that I had to deal with. Okay, well, you had Kane. I used to take the choke slam from Kane. You had the house show choke slam, and you had the TV choke slam. So on TV and pay-per-view, it's here. Boom! House show, it's here. There's a big difference. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't quite the same. Yeah. So you get the TV pay-per-view choke slam where you getting up in the air and you getting all of it. And then, the live events, house show, it's not so bad. That's how we take care of each other, because you couldn't take that 4 or 5 nights a week over the period of several months. Masato Tanaka.
Okay.
Sliding D. Masato Tanaka, awesome talent. And I talked about him before, those legendary ECW matches with Mike Awesome. If you haven't seen them, treat yourself. Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome ECW. You will cringe at the brutality of some of those matches. But like everybody, he had the live event, Sliding D, and he had the pay-per-view Sliding D.
Okay.
The Sliding D is where he would basically give you like a snapmare, and he would hit the ropes, and slide into you with an elbow.
Okay.
And I remember, I hope I'm not repeating stories, but I think I may have talked about this before. When the first time I had to work with him in Japan, I was like, oh boy, this Masato Tanaka, yeah, it's gonna be, oh boy. And he was like, MVP-san, tonight, easy, okay? Yeah, big okay.
Yeah.
And, everything was great, but when we would work in Korakuen Hall or when I had to work him in Real Goku for the title, like, woo, that elbow's coming, brother. And, but total professional, you're not injured. He's not going to hurt. You'll be able to work the next day, but brother, you're going to feel it.
Right.
Yeah, that's, besides that, man, nothing really comes to mind that I can think of, because all the guys that I worked with through the years were just top tier professionals, man, and were really good at, making it look like it hurt where it didn't hurt that bad, or, it was really hard and safe spaces, The only other thing that stands out in my mind that I can remember specifically is when me and Batista had a TV feud over a few weeks, and one it was a SmackDown. I remember that night I had to take like 5 spine busters.
Oh.
And one spine buster is pretty like, oof, 2 is, damn. I remember as I was getting up to feed up for that next one, I was like, God damn, man. I don't know if I'm going to make it to 5, man. But again, Dave was another guy that was just awesome. His offense looked devastating, but yeah, I was lucky. I'd have to say that that's the top 5 that I can think of.
All right.
But yeah, Khali, you and that big ass, fucked up ass chop, that shit hurt, man. A lot. So the few times that I stiffed you, it was a recito. Yes, exactly.
So great Khali chop, great Khali, the 2-handed powerbomb. We got the pay-per-view and TV version of Kane's chokeslam, Masato Tanaka's pay-per-view sliding D elbow, and the 5 Batista spine busters.
Consecutive.
The consecutive ones. And then Fit Finley's the shillelagh, the one time.
The one time. Yeah. He hit me with it a lot, but I remember that one time.
Right on.
And accidents happen. He's the consummate professional. Finley only hurt you if you had it coming.
Might have been a recito.
It probably was, because I was still green learning. I'm sure I banged Finley up more than a couple. As a matter of fact, just so it doesn't look like, I'm shitting on Finley. I used to do that running high boot in the corner. And somehow, this one particular time, as I was running to do that high boot, my elbow caught him. Because the foot caught him. And the key to it is, as the boot comes in, you just turn your head with it. And it's almost like a high face wash. But as I did it, my arm followed through. And I caught him with the elbow. And he had been on the receiving end of that boot numerous times, no problem. But the one time I caught him with that elbow, so that might have been a receipt for that elbow. So, but I learned volumes from Finley. My respect for him is immeasurable. He's one of the greatest in-ring technical wizards that I've ever had the pleasure of working with, and everything he did looked violent, but was safe. Is that it? We're done?
I think we're done here, man.
Okay. So one more time. If you like the content, please subscribe. Leave a comment. Like. Hit the notification so you know every Monday we're coming at you. And share it with people who you think would enjoy this.
Yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend.
To tell a friend. And we could do this every weekend.
Oh, okay. Y'all see what just happened? For those that know. Yeah.
No, now we know.
Yeah.
Now we know what was going on, right?
No, he drinking Ciroc. That's Ciroc in that cup.
You know goddamn well this ain't no Ciroc. Japanese whiskey. Hibiki. Ciroc don't come in this color. And if it does, you better not drink it. She ain't even know.
Yeah. She ain't even know it.
See you, Space Cowboy.
I just lay back in something new. Whiskey 21 and over, low ball. Make it too neat. Dizzer from Harlem. Yeah, I'm from Houston, off of Fondren. Mike Mazan and real world flow. Plant these seeds in the streets and in weeks. Watch it blossom. Dark night, riding on chrome, swinging through Gotham. It's me and P, repaving these roads.